the tournament's already started.
Yep.
So, yeah, where do you want to begin?
Well, I'm going to say, can anyone stop Astralis from clinching glory?
Well, NIP is trying the NIP, the Ninjas in Pajamas. They're trying their best right now. We've got Astralis on the opening match to cover 5.5 rounds. They're currently up by 4. But again, these Blast Pro Series tournaments, they're very much they're only 6 teams, so it's kind of like, does Astralis feel like winning it? If they do, then there's no value really on betting them, and there's no value really on betting against them. They're kind of at around that 1.5 to 1.65 range every single time. So Astralis is going to be the number 1 team in the world for the foreseeable future. Nobody's really put in the time to catch up to them. I don't like betting against them because they're legitimately that good. Blast Pro Series is kind of the only tournament you'd probably consider it, because it's a kind of a jokey tournament in the sense that it's just 2 days best of ones, which is best of 1 map, as opposed to like a full tournament where they're playing best of 3, best of 5s all the way through. So I would say don't fade Astralis, but don't bet them blindly either. Try to talk to me about it first, pick the right maps, that sort of thing.
Okay, well, listen, we are talking to you and we're asking you for some, like, do you have any live tips, and what are the tips moving forward? Because it's interesting. I think Jay said, we know nothing about esports. I was even talking with Wellcap, and I said, just because he was the first one on the show, and then we were like, and I said, oh, Adam's coming on talking esports. He's like, esports, woo, I do not understand. And I was like, I'm getting there. People are trying to like call me out when they were like, Natalie, do you even know? I know a little bit, a little tiny bit. And
that was failed in life. He said that. He's in the chat today, so he's gonna pick up on the fact that you're gonna be sharp at this someday.
Exactly. I speak with Adam all the time. Of course, I know a little bit. All right. So as we wrap up the show here, so any live plays right now, and second question is looking ahead, what can we bet
on? Well, actually, while we were chatting there, that live pick that I posted in the chat just cashed, so that was awesome. That was nice. That's on that Dota tournament we talked about last week. Yeah. So tune in for the show, and maybe there'll be an expert in here that feels like dropping some live tips. And but yeah, as far as the Blast Pro tournament, I've only posted on my Twitter some plays for tonight. The one that I posted in the article lost, actually, and there's a team from Portugal called Giants. They're the biggest underdog now. I don't really know what to think, so I'm just going to sort of watch and see their stats and numbers tonight, and maybe assess for tomorrow. But Blast Pro Series, well, I haven't had a losing CSGO tournament yet in 2019. Came close to having a losing one in the Sydney one last week, but still got just out of there with a marginal profit. So I'm feeling confident in CSGO. I do have a good read on the teams. I don't chase, for that profit, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. Day one is usually where you kind of see the teams that were ready and prepped and prepared to go for this LAN in particular. So yeah, just it's a small boutique tournament, and we can try to find some value either based on the maps or based on the teams that look good tomorrow.
Okay, all right. So what have you got?
So for tonight, the 2 remaining ones that I have, let me just pull it up. I've got Cloud9 covering 4.5 rounds against Natus Vincer on Mirage. Now, the reason behind that is Cloud9 has pretty much only had this tournament to prepare for over the last little while. Mirage has always been a good map for them. It's a good map for Navi as well. But because it's best of 1, I think they'll be prepared for this, and they just have to hit their shots. That's really all it's going to come down to. And then the other play was I have Ants, the Finnish youngsters, playing against Ninjas in Pajamas. And these two matches are starting at 9:15 my time, so that's 4:15 Eastern. And I've got Ants to cover 2.5 rounds on Nuke against NIP. NIP is not bad on Nuke, but I think they'll struggle on T side, which we've seen recently. So as long as Ents can get 6 to 7 rounds on T side, even maybe 5, I think NIP will struggle. And it comes down to pistol rounds sometimes too. But those are the two remaining plays tonight. Yeah, so we're off to a good start on the tournament. And I know with the UFC guys, they took up most of our time. But I love hearing them talk. And it was actually great having contrasting opinions discuss the various ways to look at a particular fight. So I think that might be something fun to do in the future as well.
Yeah, and I say as well, there's a lot of things that they did agree on. It's very good, obviously with Sports Bet Daily, and as we come to sort of like learn more sports, and obviously it's like a bit of a process and trying to understand. There's definitely like a lot of value in UFC betting, and not often the best fighter can be the underdog, which is in terms of odds, which is very interesting indeed.